In Chapter 23 of this Maddening Engaged Ironman, we aim to destroy the felled dragon shards to stop Sombron's plans, and the remaining hounds oppose us for one last fight. This is the contractually obligatory volcano map as decreed by ancient law, and in a normal circumstance, this is a very challenging map. Your movement is heavily restricted by terrain and volcanic bombs that fall from the sky, not to mention multiple squads of respawning Griffinites with freeze staves. You will have to fight your way through an overwhelming number of powerful enemies and reinforcements to reach the two bosses. Fortunately, there's a very easily accessible cheese strategy that nearly anyone can do. You can have Alcris or any other covert unit use a 20 range Astra Storm to attack and lure Zephyr and Gris, triggering their aggression and making the bosses move to you so you don't have to go to them. This drastically shortens the map and means we won't have to fight through more than half of the enemies, but it does not make the map a cakewalk. A tremendous number of enemies rush the starting area from multiple directions, and multiple enemy staff users will use freeze staves to trap your units in enemy attack range and volcanic bomb range. To counter this, I send Louis, who has freeze immunity due to the Sigurd emblem, to the left. Because of the way enemy targeting works, the Griffinites will still target Louis with their freeze stabs even though he is immune, distracting them from my more vulnerable units. I make sure to dodge the volcanic bombs that are targeted on top of my units and slide over to the bottom right corner. I continue clearing enemies until Zephyr herself finally approaches and I immediately start attacking. I hit Zephyr for 54 damage with Louis and finish off her first health bar with Malvir, then her second health bar with Clan, and her last with another Great Lance strike. I continue fighting some more grunt enemies as Gris slowly walks towards me, and once I am in range, I hit him with a Divine Pulse Plus boosted silence staff to make him incapable of counterattacking, and then repeatedly one-round him with Clan, Louis, and Malvir to complete the map. As the map concludes, we are treated to a cutscene where Gris is just fucking dead on the ground. Zephyr, in her dying moments, decides to help us reach the next felled dragon shard by giving us a magical crystal, and then she has the audacity to claim that making this object is what actually caused her death, as if we haven't just repeatedly struck her with lethal force just moments before. She then goes on to say, completely unprompted, that just like all the other villains, she had a tragic backstory and is a sad orphan, but we don't have time for another trauma dump and just leave. Shortly after our departure, Gris reveals that he was merely pretending to be dead to prolong his suffering, but is going to die anyway. Zephyr explains to Gris that the reason she betrayed Sombron was because she is an incel and really wanted some of that Sombrussi. Gris then reveals his tragic backstory, that he is also a sad orphan, and they both realize together that maybe the real family they wanted was the atrocity committing co-workers they met along the way. And then they both die.